Think of how soon this can happen. If they literally, on the autopsy, are writing that this is the cause of death, do you not believe that eventually this would have been the cause of death? Coach Greg, in today's video, we're going to be going over the death report for bodybuilder Gabriel Ganley from Brazil, who recently passed away. Of course, many people have speculated, people saying it was the use of insulin, others saying performance-enhancing drugs, but what actually was the cause? Well, wait till you see what the report actually says. The death certificate of bodybuilder Gabriel Ganley, 22, found dead on Saturday, indicates that he died suddenly due to hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. And so, simply put, this is a heart disease where the heart muscle becomes abnormally thick and it gets aggravated or made worse by using performance-enhancing drugs. This disease causes the heart muscle to become stiffer, making it difficult to pump blood and for the organ to relax. I should preface this by saying that I don't believe that that is actually his cause of death. And so I believe that what happened is they have to quickly make a cause of death, and it takes time to actually do the investigation, to get the blood work done, to see the results, to find out exactly what was the cause. But on first glance, he had an enlarged heart. Left ventricular hypertrophy, for example, we know is caused by performance-enhancing drugs as well as growth hormone. Now, you might be thinking, but he's only 22. Listen, I fully believe that this guy was natural up till several months ago. I believe he was natural up till the last year, that he had an amazing physique and he was doing it the right way. But due to the pressures of social media, millions of followers, millions of fans wanting to be an IFBB pro, that he decided to use and abuse performance-enhancing drugs. To add to this, I think the coach is absolutely an idiot. I think his protocols make no sense. Also, I saw a protocol where I believe he was told to drink upwards of 30 to 40 liters of water in 3 days. And that in addition to that, to consume 75 grams of sodium. And so essentially 3 gallons of water per day combined with 25 grams of sodium each and every day. And just for the average person to know, that's about 10 times more than the average person needs. And so just so you know, including that much sodium, it's not good for your heart. It can cause high blood pressure or hypertension. It's going to make the heart beat even stronger. And it's going to add some bloating, increase your body weight. And so it's clearly not healthy. And in addition to that, I'd seen a couple of weeks ago that he was struggling to get in some carbs following the use of insulin. And so a lot of these protocols, they don't make any sense, especially when you're considering that he's only 22 years of age and this is perhaps his first or second cycle. If it had been a guy who was abusing steroids perhaps 5 or more years, was already an IFBB pro, competing at the Olympia, well, maybe you do some of this. But if you're just getting started, you're just getting started, and this is retarded. And so make it make sense. Abusing steroids, abusing insulin, perhaps even growth hormone, manipulating water and sodium to this extent on what's essentially a beginner, you're asking for trouble. Add to that, I'd seen video where he was trying to follow the footsteps of Dallas McCarver, of all people. We're going to choose somebody who's no longer with us. That we're trying to copy someone like that. I mean, this reminds me of Joseph Shin, who's been blowing up on social media as of late, who's abusing performance-enhancing drugs, almost certainly, and admitted that he was trying to follow in the footsteps of the GOAT, John Skywalker. A guy who is barely hanging on right now. He's admitted to all the problems he's been posting, and so why would you want to copy someone like that? It makes no sense. Can we not pick quality, good examples of people to follow, not degenerates who have proven themselves to not know what they're doing? The Public Security Secretariat said that the police are still investigating the case and are awaiting the results of forensic reports from the IML. That stands for the Institute of Legal Medicine, and they're still trying to clarify the death. And so I believe when this is all said and done, they are not going to believe this is due to cardiomyopathy, but rather the abuse or misuse of insulin. Gabriel was found dead in the kitchen, lying face down, and according to the police report, the young man's face was red with blood present, but there were no apparent signs of violence in the house. And so it's not somebody that came in and did this to him. This was something that happened while he was all by himself. Forensic experts were at the scene and seized several medications from the apartment. Possibly, almost for sure, anabolic steroids, according to the police. And so, considering he was only 22 years of age, and cardiomyopathy, enlargement of the heart, it normally takes years, if not decades, in order to cause a death, from a cardiac event. In my opinion, it's unlikely that this would have happened simply from taking steroids at only 22 years of age. And so in a suspicious death such as this, he's only 22 years of age, they don't know why, they most certainly would have done an autopsy, and they would have noticed the enlargement of the heart. Let that be a lesson to you, everyone. Think of how soon this can happen. If they literally, on the autopsy, are writing that this is the cause of death, do you not believe that eventually this would have been the cause of death? I mean, let's assume he had never used insulin in his life. If he hadn't done insulin, I do believe he would be alive right now. But for how long? If his heart was already remodeling after only months of steroid use, imagine what would happen in years. The greater the doses and the longer you do it for, the greater the remodeling of the heart. And so if you're on performance-enhancing drugs and you're abusing it, and you only do it for example, one cycle, your heart is probably going to enlarge, but probably not to the degree that it's going to end your life. But once you've used steroids once, you're probably not going to want to stop. You're probably going to keep going, and it's going to continue to get worse. If you want to avoid this problem, don't do it in the first place. I'm telling you, it isn't worth it. I'm certain if Gabriel were given the opportunity to have a second chance, there is no way he would ever touch a steroid or insulin in his life. And so if you're a friend of Gabriel, or you looked up to him, or he was perhaps your hero, then do him a favor. Do him a solid. Don't let him die in vain. Do something about it. Change your life. Do better. Be better. Avoid or at least reduce the use of performance-enhancing drugs. Don't think, no, this can't happen to me. I most certainly think that he said the same thing. It can't happen to me. He had 1.7 million followers on Instagram. World famous. Superstar bodybuilder. His whole life in front of him, but it's taken away from him far too soon. And for what? For more muscle that he didn't even need? To what? Win a trophy? Think about it. It doesn't matter. You don't need to be an IFBB pro. You can compete in natural bodybuilding. You can be the best version of yourself without resorting to drugs. And so say no to drugs, and please go and get your blood work. Algorex can get your blood work done, and if you do need to take something, for example, telmisartan, perhaps you have high blood pressure. Do you need enclomiphene? Do you have low levels of testosterone? What is exactly your problem? Are you obese? Do you need to take a GLP to help you lose weight? Get to Algorex, and of course you can use HTLT supplements and stay natural. And if you're interested in a discount, use code Greg. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Like this video if you liked it. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully it discouraged you from using and abusing performance-enhancing drugs. Don't forget to watch one of those two videos. And until next time, I am out.